G'day doggies fans, all things Bulldogs. It's the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs Elite Pathways weekly wrap. Eddo's back again with all the important pathways information, the fixtures, the analysis, the tables, the highlights. It's all there, and he might talk about the NRL as well. So welcome back, mate. I'm going to talk a little bit about the NRL and the 66-0 drubbing at the hands of Newcastle. Now, people talk about and have their own opinions about where Newcastle were on the table. I saw a seasoned professional outfit, and their greatest attacking weapon was Ponga, Best, and Fitzgibbon on that left-hand edge, with Hastings chiming in. And what happened? It was the opposing defence from our Bulldog side was coloured Rajeb, Jaden Ockenbaugh and Paul Almodi, who was moved from the left edge with the Fox to the right edge with Carraz. Absolutely have no idea why they would do that. And as it panned out, the experience and confidence of the Knights grew, while the inexperience and lack of confidence and trust of the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs side was completely exposed. Our board, Gus Gould, I think commercially very astute, doing some good stuff with pathways, stuff off the field, taking care of battlers out there, looking after everyone, trying to be a really good organisation. Unfortunately for them, when it comes to Canterbury-Bankstown and the situation we're in, they're going to have to continue to sell the message they're selling, but they need to make some changes on the field. They need to show, to give trust in the fans, they need to show that the boys on the field trust each other. And experience is the key there. And they need to take accountability for the lack of experience that's been selected week to week, the lack of size, the lack of impact on the bench and the rotations. It's quite obvious, and we've talked about it all season. And I haven't been too critical, but this is where it needs to sort of come to a head. We can't cry about the changes that weren't made now, though. We've got to look forward, and the reset has started. We've got a big opportunity this week, but they probably will need time, that time and patience. But if they've got any resolve or fortitude at all, they will get out there and turn those boos into cheers against the South Sydney Rabbitohs on Saturday night. So talking about what happened, though, picking Ockenbaugh and those guys on the edge against Kalen Ponga, and that was just absolutely diabolical. Poor Rajab, he's going to need to trust in his faith, in his family, his friends, to lift himself from that. Same with Paul Alamoti, same with Hayes Perham, all young. They're really going to need to get their heads right around that, and hopefully the club supports them well and gets their confidence up through New South Wales Cup. The other point there is these kids, once Rajeb was taken off, they moved Matt Burton over to that side of the field. Now, I know he was playing with Alamotti on the left, but them two on the right was just the similar liability. Did not help. I thought it was another mistake. Topine and Averillo would have been better going back to the right-hand side of the field, in my opinion. And it's some of these little changes that have happened in games where we've had the adversity, where the positioning's been wrong. So pretty much the entire fan base can sort of see it. I don't really see many fans at all sort of, suggesting these were the right positions. Doesn't mean we know better, but it's just one of those things. We're all in agreement here. So really, hopefully this reset happens this week. Hopefully things get back on track and we build some confidence going into the Belmore game against the Broncos next week, which is going to be very, very important. Every game from here on in is very, very important for the future of our club. And hopefully we can build some momentum and get back to the levels. There's been levels we've shown in games which, have shown we can improve, but we've regressed a lot in the last few weeks. And it's been going that way since about round 10. So glad Flanagan's back in the side. Gladburns is there, top and A. I wish they could just give him a chance on an edge as an edge back rower. But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on it. I'm going to hand over to Eddo now. All the best for the guys this week. We'll stick strong, get behind them. Hopefully, no more boos at the ground. And yeah, thank you so much. And go ahead, Eddo. Welcome back, mate.
Thanks, Michael. Hello to everyone. It's Eddo from the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs Elite Pathways Facebook page, and this is the weekly wrap. So we're going to talk about the lower grades from the weekend gone and also what's coming up this weekend. There'll be some points tables and some scoreboards from the weekend prior and the fixtures of what's coming up. But first of all, I just want to congratulate all the under-19 junior reps that have made the selection for their state. First of all, Damon Marshall for Queensland under-19s, currently playing in the Jersey Flag side and doing really well. Also, Joash Papali'i, playing in Cup and a little bit of Flag this year, made the New South Wales under-19 side. Congratulations. And all the girls that made the state side. We had 7 in New South Wales: Tatiana Finau, Lydia Fusi, Nawaria Kapua, Chelsea Makira, Letitia Smythe, Mona Lisa Soliola, and Alexis Tawanai. And for Queensland, 1 rep, Ebony Rastran-Smith. Congratulations to all the girls. Look forward to seeing that match. So let's look at the results from last weekend in the pathways and also what's coming up this weekend. There'll be some points tables and some scoreboards for your viewing pleasure. In Sydney Shield, we had another loss, unfortunately. The Moorebank Rams went down 40-22 to the Glebe Dirty Reds. And they're still sitting at the bottom of the ladder and not having the greatest season. This weekend, they're at home to St Mary's at 4:30 at Hammondville. In Ron Massey Cup, a really good win. A high-scoring game, though. 38-28 over the Glebe Dirty Reds. And that game featured the club debuts of some North Coast representative talent coming through the system. Prop and second rower and Lachlan Misford, who comes from Coffs Harbour, and Hamish Wilson, a winger or centre, and he's from Foster Tuncurry Hawks, and they both made the trip down and played in that side. Hamish actually scored 12 points, and that team also features Aston Pollard, who's a bit of a fullback, half 5'8", and he's from Port City Breakers, and I think he started the year in the West Tigers flag trials, but then came across. And all 3 have represented the North Coast teams, covering that area that we're now filtering through and got an affiliation with. And good to see all 3 boys in that side, and hopefully they can continue to be picked there. To mix in with some of the local talent in our area, and some of the flag players that drop back and play in that side. So good win, 30-28 over Glebe, and this weekend they've got St Mary's at 6:30 p.m. after the Shield game. Also at Hammondville on Saturday. So up to Queensland with the Clydesdales, our breeding ground up the north of the border, and the Clydesdales had a 48-22 loss to South Logan Magpies. And this weekend they're at home, 5 p.m. on Saturday, to the Brisbane Tigers. That game is on Plus TV for those who can't get to the game up there. In Hastings Deering Colts, the Clydesdales had a narrow loss, 32-26, also to South Logan. And this week they are at home as well, before the before the older boys at 2:45 p.m. on Saturday against the Blackhawks. So good luck to the Clydesdales boys. So looking at the Jersey Flegg from last weekend, and they had a really good win, 36-16 over Newcastle. And the try scorers were Danny Gabriel got one, Jonathan Sewer got a double, Cam Lawrence got a double as well, and the two big fellas in the middle got one each as well, Tim Johansson and Jack Todd, both having really good seasons. Jonathan Sewer got 4 goals as well to take his personal tally to 16 points, and all that with AJ Jones spending 10 minutes in the sin bin. So yeah, really good win. And they're consolidating their spot in the top 2, just behind the Roosters. And I think they have the bye after this weekend, which is against the Storm on Sunday at 2 p.m. at Broadmeadows, an away game. An away trip for the boys. So yeah, hopefully they enjoy that. And yeah, so it'd be good to get a win going into the bye and really consolidate that spot. And finish off the year in the top, or maybe the top 2. That'll be really good. There's a lot of talent down there, and yeah, continue that form this weekend, boys. Good luck. So taking a look at the New South Wales Cup game, and it was a 38-12 loss to Newcastle. A really disappointing performance. Maybe it was coming with the weekend before, a 15-all draw with West, which was a very scrappy performance considering the lineup that we had in that game. That was also the return of Beyond Eddo, which is, you know, it's good to see him back running around and getting some valuable game time. So try scorers were Kai Ward and Gerald Skelton, and Flanagan kicked 2 goals. And the run meters were topped by Gerald Skelton, 197, Kai Ward 163 metres, and Papali'i 146 metres. Skelton with 65 post contact and 5 tackle breaks. Was really good with the ball. And defensively, Kyle Flanagan topped the tackle count with 42. I thought a couple of the forwards provided great impact and made some really good hits and ran the ball hard. Josh Kaladi off the bench and Lipboy Hopboy. And Katunga as well, starting in the second row, I thought was really good. So Adam Klein, the opposition halfback, had a bit of a field day with the boot and had scored a couple of tries with some neat little kicks in behind Gerald Skelton. You know, he's a big fella, Skelton, and his reaction is not the quickest. So he sort of needs support with those types of kicks, whether it be, you know, the fullback or his, you know, inside centre, who usually is Sam Rani and was for the first 12 minutes, but come off with looks like a syndesmosis injury, unfortunately. And he usually does get up in the face of the opposition, which cuts down the ball carrier's time and, you know, puts pressure on their decision making, I guess. And yeah, Adam Klein found us out there, and they scored a couple of tries in behind our defensive line. But it wasn't just that. There were other areas in the team that weren't at its best, and maybe it's a combination of a few things, but also, you know, a new halves combination with Odo and Reynolds. Reynolds coming back into the team, and Odo, Beyond Odo's second game. We were going with O'Neill and Haywood for a while there, and it was going well, and they were building a nice little combination. But, you know, we have to have these players, particularly Odo, getting game time. He needs it. Yeah, so they are still on top of the ladder. They're equal on points with Newtown, and they play South at 5:10 at Accor this Saturday before the NRL game. It's not televised, so those getting out there might want to get there a little bit earlier to watch the Cup boys. Eli Clark is incidentally named at fullback. I don't know whether he'll actually start there, but that'll be interesting if he does. But there's no Hayes Perham Paul Alamotti and Caleb Raja are not named in any team, so there could be some changes, whether they want to maybe give them a week off. We'll see what happens. Joe Ash is on New South Wales rep duty, so yeah, he'll be missing, and they play that State of Origin under-19s game next Thursday, and it's on Fox and Channel 9, so it's getting good coverage. It's in Redcliffe, and yeah, as I said, Damon Marshall will be in that Queensland team, so we'll get to see one player in each team go around. So onto my man of the match. I give it to Kitione Katoga, the second row. He played 80 minutes on the edge. 2 line breaks, assists, 3 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, 26 tackles, only 1 miss, and a try assist off one of those offloads. His run meters weren't high, it was mid-60s, but I just thought he had a really strong game, playing 80 minutes on the edge, and I think maybe he's been benefited by coming off the bench just a few weeks prior in the middle and concentrating on his defence. I did have an issue early on with his sort of lateral movement in defence, but it seems to be getting better, and yeah, I think we could see him get a taste in NRL at some stage. He's a big boy, quite solid, puts on a good hit. So we could see him in NRL off the bench before the end of the year. And yeah, I think he's coming into the top 30 next season. Lastly, I just want to speak a bit about the NRL game. It was a pretty dark day for the entire club, not just the fans, to witness that. It's going down 66-0 to the Knights, who are, 14th on the ladder. And in front of our home fans, it's not a good feeling. You don't want to see, a big loss, but a loss at 66-0 it's really hard to watch. Hopefully the team can regroup this week and put that behind them with a good performance against South. Play for one another, because it just looks like they're playing too individually. I'm not sure if there's a bad feeling in the camp or what, or whether it's fatigue or whether they've been overtrained, or I'm not sure. Players maybe being told that they're not wanted or what. I don't know. I'm not a coach. I'm not going to say what should and what shouldn't happen. I only see what players are available, and I think with the selections this week, it's a step in the right direction. A couple of changes that had to be made. Alamotti, he's a first season 18-year-old. He needs a break. It really showed in that game. Hayes Perham's lost confidence the last month. They had to make a change there. Jake's been there before. He can cover. And yeah, it gives an opportunity to Jackson Tapine, who I don't see as a centre, but he's played a little bit there this year. They may change that before the game starts. Kyle Flanagan, I think at 14, is a good move. It takes pressure off Reid Marnie, who at times I think could do with a bit of a spell, especially having to do that much defensive work and then worry about the attack. I think having Kyle there is a good move. I thought Jaden Ockenball was a bit lucky. I think he's sort of still learning that position, playing in the middle or on the edge as a forward. I would prefer to see him playing cup, but Cameron seems to be a big fan. I felt sorry for Rajab defending outside him. He needed more protection and more help, and he just didn't get it. And against, quality opposition edge that's played together for a while, it was always going to be hard. I think Toby Sexton is a good signing. I know he's not in the Titans team at the moment, but I think he's got potential, and most importantly, he's a game manager. He plays right side. It allows Burton to go to the left and his natural side. Sexton's a right-footed kicker. Kicks long. Has a short kicking game as well. He defends not too bad. But it's his organisational skills that we really need. and hopefully, he'll add something to the team. It might not be right away, but we've got to give him a chance. And he's not on a lot of money. He'll be on 200 to 250k. It's to the end of next year at the moment, so it's an opportunity for him, and it gives us time to look and see if anything else comes up, and be active in the market for something we really want to pursue. It's not going to take away from that. So let's hope that the boys can put last week behind us with a good performance this week, win or lose against South, and let's put that behind us, and move on. I'll talk to you next week.
3. Fine. Defensive, Bailey. Yeah, rounded. You're good. Another chat that you've got. Hey, Bailey, 2 metres short. 8 metres 10 in the middle. Chase, good. Yeah, grounded. We had a fake out, but it's both beating you. Outside. It's fine. Stay on. Down. Grounded. Back low, fine. Feet. Down. Oh, 10! Good. 2, 1, 10 anyway. 3 it is. Yep. Get there. Down. Yes, baby! Woo! Behind, pass it, block on. Whoops. We're one advantage. Keep going, yep. They're going behind. 0 coming. Feet. Yep. Down. On 0. Hey. Fine, good. Fine. And pass. 4. Backwards. Keep going. The last. Down. Alright. Happy with line? Down. No, 2. 1. That's 4. Down. That's the fire. Head gear. Let it go. Yeah. 1. Not on. Keep going. Coming. Yep. Okay. I think it's good. Yep. Wait here. Wait. Stay 0. 7. Come 7. Behind. Yep. From behind it. 1, 0. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Or down. Right. Go, last. Good line. Keep going. That's good. Still last. I'll get it down. Go, 4. Outside. Keep going defensive. On 4 down. Good. Outside through. On 3. You got grounding, mate? 10, 8. No, line. Right, you're good now. Out into the through. 4 down. Right. Hold. Go, 4. Wait. Hold. Go, 1. Line's good. Outside 3. Down. Right. Yep. Go, 3. Much better. Outside. Defensive. All defensive. Try. Down, that's fine. Go last. Okay, left good. Keep going. Yeah. Go 1. All defensive.